What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues, a.k.a. the married one at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host.
How pissed are you about the seats? Are you over it yet? You so pissed about it?
It's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I don't like it.
I can't host from the mid. I can't host
Hosting from the mid. It's just crazy.
It's not how it is, Nick.
That's
you
a
host from
producer
the mid every week.
When?
You've been doing it for 10 years,
Yeah,
Greg.
Kind of Funny Games Daily, is that what you're saying?
Game Over Greggy Show, Kind of Funny Podcast.
That's a different set. That's a different table. If it's the table Kind of Funny podcast, we are over here. For a 4-person thing, you're over here. All right? This is where you host from. This is the host seat.
He's not wrong.
4 people
Captain,
right
I
here.
see a Klingon. What?
That's happening right now.
That's what I'm
He's not
saying.
the
I
captain
sit
of the
here.
ship?
I think he's quoting
Sit
him
here.
at his
Look
first.
at that.
And I hate this every time. I hate
you
this.
hating it's different.
This is a
than it
conversation
happening.
every time we are set up like this.
In your head.
And today I
This is
took
like
matters
Festivus.
into
I
my
love
own
this.
hands, all right? I didn't take them to people's court, Nick. You remember this reference, you're old.
I do.
I took the seat, and Tim came in on, I hate this.
Well, that's Tim's seat, though.
Greg,
Thank you.
The thing is this, Greg, we're so close to the new year. New year, new me.
New year, new me.
I think you just stake your claim now, and
Yeah.
then in the new year, because Andy hasn't been on the podcast in a while, you just pretend like it's always been this way.
Sure.
He won't check.
See, that's what the other thing gets under Tim's skin, of course. Kind of funny day right around the corner.
Yeah.
He would have wanted to use this. He would have wanted me not to do this and this be an announcement.
An announcement.
Put it on the thermometer.
Greg takes my chair.
When we use the table, Greg goes all the way over. Not today. Not today.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Sure
at the
you are.
table.
Look
I'm
at
not fine
everybody
with it
look at
on
him.
the chairs.
Everybody look
I
at
want
him.
that clear.
The chairs make sense.
Then fine.
When there's space
Deal.
there.
We'll see when I steal it from you, though. You know what I mean?
Wow.
How long that takes.
What do you mean?
Wow.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
When you take
3D
this seat,
chess.
if you're hosting, then you sit here. That's fine. Gamescast, you sit here.
Yeah, see, the solution, though, if he takes the seat, is you just let him host.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I guess-
No.
I guess you
If he
want-
tries taking this seat in the middle of a Kind of Funny podcast, congratulations, you do it. You think he can do this?
I mean,
Right? You know
Let's
what
see
I
him
mean?
do it.
You
Let's see him
think
do it,
he
everyone.
can pick the 4 cozy bear topics?
of San Francisco. That's what he'll do. That's what
Yeah.
he'll do. He's been begging me to talk about these painted ladies for too long, and I won't do it.
Panda ladies?
Painted ladies.
Oh, there's 4 of them.
Remember Full House?
He doesn't even have a Coke yet.
Yeah, did you email Joey for me?
Oh, I thought you were going to email
No,
Joey.
I want you to email Joey on my behalf to
Would
come
you like
get
to
me
be
a Coke.
Would you like to be BCC?
I would love to be BCC on this, all
Wait,
right?
if you BCC, then no one will know.
Greg,
Joey doesn't need to know.
It'll be hidden.
But Joey will know, she'll see the responses. So when Joey responds negatively about Greg and we laugh,
No, I
Greg
won't.
will
That's
know.
not how
That's not how it
BCC
works,
works.
sadly.
That's a good point.
No. Now you can't. I could respond to a BCC. But that's what we'll do.
Okay.
You let me know when
Yeah.
you sent the email to Joey to come get me a Coke.
Can I have one, too?
Sure.
No.
And if she doesn't respond in 5 minutes with a Coke, then I will respond to the BCC email and say, I bet you didn't know I was BCC'd. You better come get me a Coke, all right? Don't
There's
make me
also-
call Blessing.
I would say that there is a 90% chance she's watching this right
Are you
now.
going to call Blessing to be like, hey, I
Go
need you
check
to
in on Joey. Why haven't I
tell
got
her to look at her emails? She got a message from Nick.
That's how it's going to work. Of
Oh,
course.
my Lord.
The one, the only, father of Henry,
No, right, she's right there.
Kevin Coelho.
Whoa, hey!
Hello, Kevin.
What up, dudes?
Welcome back to work.
I'm here.
You've been gone a long time.
It's like a flash.
I
you
can
know?
only
It was
imagine.
So quick.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you did it. You've done it.
Oh!
Did she just snub you?
Joey walked cracked a Diet Coke and left. Did she flip me off too? There was a
my
hand
God, that
gesture.
was
There was a hand
awesome.
gesture for sure.
That was
Holy
amazing.
shit.
Should
we do a beer instead?
On that.
I'm sure you want a
Holy
beer. Yeah,
shit,
you got beers
dude.
out there?
I don't know. Do we? I mean, I've been out.
No, I don't think we do. I can get you a
come
Coke
on,
real
guys.
easy. I can get you a Coke.
I got
real easy.
lightheaded from how hard I laughed.
Yeah,
right
that was.
Man, that's when you,
Joey's so
that's
cool.
when you need the room cam. You know what I mean? We didn't see it.
We
We
have
didn't
it.
see
It's right there.
I know, but we didn't have it on. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Now
sure.
Barrett's
Yeah.
doing. Now is Barrett getting it?
He's getting himself a Coke, and he's gonna give us the finger.
We're never getting Cokes.
No,
You want one too now?
No, I just want you guys to have one because I'm part of the set boys.
yeah, you're part of the set boys.
Right? We're the on-set
Keep it in
boys.
your cachet.
Exactly.
Everybody
There it is. He has 2 Cokes.
Damn it. That's my boy. That's my CEO
Lordy
Junior.
Lord.
Kevin Coelho, congratulations on becoming a father.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you for coming back. Yeah, as you said, there was a moment I was giving Barrett a ride home, I think, and he was like, "Only 5 weeks till Kevin comes back, but who's counting?" And I was like, "We've burned through a month already before."
so
Holy
fast.
shit,
Yeah.
that's
Already?
insane. Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Barry. Thank you for handling everything.
Congratulations to Barry
glad
for
nothing
keeping
broke
everything
down.
awake. Everybody afloat. Everything kept going. The wheels stayed on. The garbage truck on fire. But BKD, you're back. You're a dad. Do you feel different?
Yeah, I guess, Got a little dude that I have to feed every once in a while.
Sure.
Pretty great.
Sure. Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
change diapers so often.
A lot.
It's
He's a
it's so
koala.
often, yeah. He poops a lot. Yeah, no, it's been incredible. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. The first little bit was real tough.
Yeah.
Just the birth did not go super smoothly. But we got past that. Everything's okay. 2 days in the NICU. What are you gonna do? It happens.
Yeah.
He's good and healthy now.
Yeah.
Getting fat. That's what I like to see.
He got the cool rolls, the cool.
Yeah, he's got
yeah.
them growing. There was a picture of me as a 6-month-old infant. Let me see if I can find it here. That my sister sent me, and it's just one of these things of that's my goal with my son, so that he's got everything he needs to grow, and we're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Find your photo. I have a million questions, of course. While you do that, I'll do some housekeeping and remind you that this is the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, coming to hang out and talk about whatever's happening in their lives. If you like that, we'd like you to pick up a Kind of Funny membership. Coke made me salivate a lot. There's a lot of spit happening right there.
I don't
You know
like
what I
Greg
mean?
salivating.
I tell you, I'm still addicted to the Coca-Cola.
Of course you are. Still
I
got
crave
the-
them.
There he is.
That's you right there. Oh, God, send that to assets.
Yeah, I will.
Of course, if you like what we do, pick up the Kind of Funny membership either over on patreon.com/kindoffunny or youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. You'd get all of our shows. That's more than 20 a week, ad-free across Kind of Funny Games content and Kind of Funny content. Of course, you get your daily dose of me in a series we call Greg Way, which we actually let Kevin do today. But then I also recorded a backup just in case Kevin was too busy today. First day back in the office. I wasn't sure.
a lot going on.
So those are both up. That's 2 Greg Ways
I
today.
knocked it out.
And of course,
No problem. 15 minutes.
you can get the afternoon podcast like this one live as we record them, just like Nick Murders with Mertens, a horror film podcast, Matt Grover, Madeline Stanley, Langley M. Neely, Benny Be Good. So many people are out here supporting Kevin Coelho, and we love that very, very much. Of course, no bucks toss our way. Like, subscribe, share, either on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames for your podcast every week or podcast services around the globe. Rate, share, leave a comment on Spotify. I did once.
Did you?
Spotify?
Yeah.
I don't
It's
believe
a
you
thing
did.
they were rolling out. I swear to God.
You
Swear to
swear?
God. I think I might have done a What's Good's final episode. Maybe
Oh,
one of
not
our-
for us. You didn't do it for
fuck
us.
No, you know what I mean? Come on. Maybe I didn't. It was just like, Andy, you suck. You know what I mean? How do you like
We're
it?
still asking people to leave movie reviews on the Rooster Teeth merch site.
That was such a fun thing.
Where do
to
we
go
sell any merch?
Into our merch and read the comments. It would be really good reviews, honestly.
God.
If you're watching this later, why not blue sky at Joey and say, did you ever bring Greg a Coke? Of course, I'd like to thank our Patreon producers. It's a good one, ain't
List
it?
them off.
A
List
good
them off,
one.
Greg.
James Hastings, Casey Andrew, Nathan Lamoth. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays and Aura Frames. And of course, it's a brand new month, which means there's a whole new month of Patreon and exclusive member content. You can go get it anywhere you want, YouTube or, like I said, Patreon. Over on Patreon, we have a new collector's item. It's going to be our Christmas photo for the year once again. I appreciated that everybody was confused this morning when we internally were like, here it is. And everybody was like, do we take this photo? Oh, this is from last year. It says on it, this is last year's photo. We'll take a new one this year. But yeah,
I was
whatever.
right there. I didn't say anything, but I was right there.
Kevin Coelho,
Yep.
you're back and you're a dad.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to. There you. Oh my God. There you
Look
are.
at him.
There you
Look at
are.
him.
You know what I mean?
And to be clear, this is Kevin.
Yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
This is me. So that's my goal with my son, so that he has
Getting-
all the fat that he needs to grow into the little man that he's going to become.
Yeah, hell yeah, of course. The man he's going to become. Talk to me about this. So I know your Greg Way delves into this, like you said, this, that, the other. I want to ask questions. I want to compare stories and notes, though. Talk to me about the birth, because it came on like a hurricane over here.
Crazy.
Where you were starting to figure out, or you're finalizing how to figure out and send Snowbike Mike DVDs when you went home for a
Yeah.
weekend and we got a DM of like, it's over. I gotta
It's
go.
great. Our last weekly meeting, we all came together and we have a computer in there that's kind of failing, the one that controls all the streaming.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it was like, hey, can we get this done before you leave? And I'm like, I don't think I have time. I'm like, man, I had no idea how little time I had, because it was that was on Friday, and I think it was on our Monday morning meeting on Thursday.
Wednesday.
A Wednesday?
Lots of
Yeah, I
times
think
it's
so.
Wednesdays.
I think we pushed it that week.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Anyways, but it was like, that was it. we left, and
I got a call from you. I was at Imran's goodbye party.
yep.
So
Yep.
I must have been like on a Sunday, and you were just
No,
like
Saturday.
You called me. You're just like, it's go time, baby.
Yep.
It's, like,
It's
oh,
gonna
shit.
happen. We have to induce in the next 3 days. So we, Paula was having this itching that was like really horrible itching, and it's she did some Googling, and the only thing that was coming up is this thing called cholestasis of the pregnancy.
Okay.
So it just means your liver is letting bile out when it's not supposed to.
Got it.
She went and got blood work done, and then they were like, no, it's not it. The next week, she was like, it's itching worse. And I was like, well, get your blood work done again. So she got her blood work done on that Friday. So she got blood work done on Wednesday, and on Friday, they were like, no, you don't have it. Saturday, they called us, and they were like, well, no, we made a mistake. You have it.
We
And
missed it.
You have to get induced like by Tuesday. Wow. And it was like, do you want to come today? And we're like, no, we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, you should let her itch.
I mean, I wish there was something like we could have done. The itching was so bad, and it was so hard to see her experience that, and not be able to do anything. It would just be like, I'm sorry.
But when you say itchy, like
Like
a normal, like scratch your skin itch, or was it like an internal itch?
scratch your skin, but like all over your body. Yeah, and like her
That is
hands
a
were really
nightmare,
bad.
yeah.
She kept scratching. I kept being like, you're hurting yourself. You need to stop.
You're gonna put mittens on her.
That's exactly
Oatmeal
right.
bath.
Just
Yeah.
mittens and duct tape.
Just
Yeah.
Did you lick them? Did you just lick the mittens?
you know why? Because my brain went to Edward White claw hands.
Oh man,
Remember
remember
we used
those?
to do that? And I was like, oh, that'd be good to do right now. Get a White Claw on me. But it's Monday. I can't get that drunk today.
Yeah, so I contacted you guys. Told you, hey, it's going down. And then the next day, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Nick,
Do Not Corner? What is that from?
Malcolm in the Middle.
Ah.
Yeah.
The kid who plays
Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis in
Yeah.
the Jedi game.
Shut the fuck up. That's awesome.
Oh. How it started.
This
Yeah.
I'm responding to the BCC email. Just this is going on your employee review.
Oh my god. Here we go.
She took you off, but she responded. You guys were right, obviously, right? Like, she responded. You weren't CC'd, and because I'm your best friend, I BCC'd you again, so that you would understand how she was speaking about you.
Well, hold on. I said this.
what did she say? Can you tell us?
It's between me and the BCC.
I will bring it up when I BCC
BCC won't let
everyone
me
here.
be.
I'm just responding. This is going to go on your employee review. I bet you didn't know I was on this email chain.
Again, she's probably listening.
And then she said, "Oh, sorry, I just saw this and definitely wasn't watching the stream while you all were workshopping this." And then Nick said in response to that, "No problem. I told Greg you were hard at work and not paying attention to the stream. You're the best of us."
That's actually a great
Joey
response.
in the chat. This is all brand new information.
Crazy.
Yeah, so then Sunday we go in, and we understand that inducing a pregnancy is like a long process.
Yeah.
You look up online, it's like it can take 12 to 24 hours. It took 54, unfortunately.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was a very slow process.
There's
And-
so many like obviously parallels to Jen and me and Ben's birth, right? And it was that thing where, you know, Jen living the Paula side of it, right?
Yeah.
And how horrific Ben's birth was and how horrifying it was for me being in the room having to see all this stuff and seeing my wife and then a brand new son have to go through this, right? Like there was a point where Jen was like, "Have you heard from Kevin? Should you text him?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. I remember being where he is, and if you're not talking, if the person in the room isn't saying anything, don't say anything because there's nothing you can do, and it's probably not going well."
And I was trying to like keep you guys updated
Sure.
because like for so long there wasn't any major updates.
Yeah.
Like I would just ping and be like, "It's a slow process. Like this isn't totally abnormal. Things seem to be going okay. We're almost there." And it just
And it was so long that it ended up Gia's cancer surgery was happening in the same building
Yep.
that you guys were in,
Yeah.
like as this was going down, which was crazy because there was a while where
Wait, I gotta stop you. I don't know. Gia's cancer surgery was happening in the same building. I look at Nick and he goes,
hey,
What are you?
Because I know you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
it's just
right?
crazy
Same
how
doctor?
you were saying
No,
something
not same
important,
doctor.
and he's just
You're thinking that scene exactly, right? From The Dark Knight Rises, where Gia has to take the little thing, puts it in the windowsill, rappels down to Paula. But what if Batman can't come back? hey, boss, come back. Okay. And then it goes back up. How did he get back up? You know what I mean?
Dark Knight
How did he get back up?
the same thing.
Man, I really thought that it would just be the same doctor. I was gonna make a joke. Maybe Henry was gonna be able to do Gia's surgery.
Yeah.
No, you went Batman.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
also possible. Yeah.
But Kev was texting me like updates, like as he was, like you were saying, like, you know, every once in a while I'd hit him up, just be like, oh, how things going, whatever, just checking in. And like he'd be telling me, oh, it's going slow. Hey, we're still in it. No updates yet, or like whatever. And then, yeah, we were in the same building. And I feel like that's around when things started getting like a little crazier. And I stopped hearing
Well,
from you.
no, he was born Tuesday at like 6:45, and that happened Wednesday. But so you were now like that happened as he's in the NICU, so the natal intensive care unit, neonatal, whatever.
Care unit.
And after 54 hours of not sleeping, and so we had slept like maybe 6 hours that night. Like that's when we started talking of like, oh, I'm here, and I'm just like, I don't have it in me.
Oh yeah,
I can't
oh, yeah.
come.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
no, and also,
No, yeah. I
we
mean,
didn't have the right shots and stuff at that point yet.
Sure,
anyways,
sure.
but
Yeah. But yeah, it just yeah, it was awful. It was very unfortunate. We got to the point where we had to have an emergency C-section. And then we went to do the emergency C-section, and they pulled him out, and he made like a noise for a second and then stopped. And it was like, oh, it's not good. That sounds scary.
Yeah.
And you know things are serious when there's doctors and nurses rushing in the hospital, because like normally they keep everything nice and clear and calm. But like, yeah, they're all rushing in a corner. They're sewing Paula back, and she's after 54 hours, she starts actually passing out because she's so exhausted. Yeah. And like they told her everything's okay, which I'm really happy they did. It was a lie, but like
I did the same thing to Jen when Ben wasn't breathing. I was like, he's so big.
Yeah,
that's all I could say.
And it was just terrifying to like 10 feet away from me. There's a bunch of people giving him CPR, trying to get him to breathe. They've the little mask pumping, and they've got all these wires on him now to like, and you can see like, oh, his heart rate's not looking good. His blood oxygen level isn't looking good. And then they're like, hey, we're gonna take him to the operating room in the NICU.
Yeah. Was there a point that you were like, I'm Kevin fucking Coelho? Let me handle this.
Absolutely not. I absolutely. I was like, good. Let the professionals that know what they're doing.
Kevin just takes out his Leatherman. He's like, I got
this, y'all.
But like, I chose to stay with Paula because they were like, do you want to come? And I was like, well, she's asleep, so she doesn't know what's going on. I don't want her waking up and being like,
no
oh no, because like already it's not going to plan, I was supposed
the
to
C-section alone, right? Yeah.
The C-section, but even with the C-section, it was like, okay, they'll do the C-section, he'll cut the umbilical cord, and then we'll lay him on your chest. That didn't happen. So Paula's like, something's wrong, but she's so tired that she passed out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they rush off, and they're like, oh yeah, when they're done sewing her up, she'll wake up, you can talk to her, and you can go back and be with him while they work on him. And then as they finished, I was like, oh, they said I can go. And they were like, they don't want you to go right now. And it was like, oh, okay, weird.
Yeah.
And then like 15 minutes later, they're like, okay, we're going to take you back to your room. And I was like, well, they told me I could go. And they're like, you hang out in your room. Someone will come talk to you. And it's like, oh, that's all scary. Mm-hmm. That's all super scary.
Yeah, for sure.
And then for like an hour and a half, no one came,
Jesus Christ.
And it's just like, cool, this is scary.
Is Paula awake yet?
Yeah, Paula's awake. Also a little concerned.
Out of it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely out of it. And then Paula's sister was in our room, and they had come by, with this, like the little bed, and a bunch of doctors walked by, and she was like, is that my nephew? And they were like, yeah. And then like some nurse had like apologized profusely. It like made it seem like things weren't looking good.
Okay.
So yeah, he wasn't breathing on his own for like 40 minutes.
Okay.
But he's fine. Everything, he recovered, and he started breathing on his own, and everything's okay. It was just really scary at first. He stayed two nights in the NICU, which is really emotionally like quite difficult.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't hold him at this point, right? You can't touch him at this point. Yeah,
you can't touch him. You can see him.
Yeah, through the little
But yeah, that really sucked and was unfortunate. And then, but Thursday night he came and joined us, and he's doing way better and getting fat and loud, and I love him. Yeah, he's just perfect.
What was the final straw, the call for the C-section?
So he was they call it sunny side up. So
Sure.
yeah, instead of, I think they're supposed to be facing down, he was facing up.
Mhm.
And from what they could tell, he got jammed coming out of Paula because of that.
Yeah.
So if you're oriented the right way, your body, like everything is made to like, slowly slide out the right way. But because it wasn't, his head got stuck on her hip bone.
Sure.
And she did such a good job pushing out that he actually had a big old cut on the top of his head. Yeah. But that's like that recovered, like 2 days that was completely gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know the preference obviously is for natural birth, but was Paula at any point, was she like, hey, y'all could have saved me 54 hours if you had just done the C-section right off the rip?
I mean, absolutely.
That's always the thing that I hear. I'm like, they always end up doing the emergency C-section, and I always feel bad because I'm like, did you need to go through the turmoil of the 50-hour
so the like not
pushing?
breathing thing, like no one really knows why he wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
And it like something that does happen is with C-sections, the babies come out and are in shock, and a lot of times they won't breathe. So it could be that he
That's
was
what caused
yeah.
it. Yeah,
But
There's also
there's a
the
bunch of
fluid inside, right? Since
Yeah,
they don't
that
get
needs to
pushed
get
out,
squeezed
it doesn't
out.
get squeezed
Yes,
out.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
one of Ben's problems when he came out and wasn't breathing, and they couldn't find a heartbeat for a while.
Right.
In retrospect, they were like, "Oh, that's one of the reasons why it was like this." But
Yeah.
that doesn't make it any easier, right?
Right.
And it's the other thing, of like, we're done, as I've said. But if we were ever to do it again, I think we would possibly just jump straight to it because I think we'd have to. Honestly,
zipper. You just open it up.
exactly. Yeah.
But like in reality though, that is like a ton of layers of
fuck. Oh, yeah,
I mean, it is.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
getting
yeah,
abdominal
yeah.
surgery at that
and
point.
every
right?
time it happens, it's like it causes scarring and it's
yeah.
not good,
It's not good.
Yeah, and like to this day, Jen's like, it doesn't feel right. And there was when I remember like when it had healed, there were still questions from Jen of like, is it really healed? Because it doesn't feel like I can feel a hole here, like in this kind of thing or whatever. But it would be the idea for us of like Ben's birth was so traumatic that I just don't think we could do it. And I think then there's also this huge problem of like, for some reason in America, C-sections are way more deadly. Like it goes up really
For the child or for the
mom
Really?
exponentially. Yeah. And so
That's
it's one of those
crazy.
ideas
Is
that
it an
like
infection or why would that be?
I haven't looked into it enough because the other problem is, at least in our experience, and I'd be interested in yours, is like we really were not prepared for it. All the classes, all the stuff were like, oh, it's gonna be natural, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, epidural, no epidural, it's up to you, mom, blah blah blah.
Yep.
And it wasn't like we should walk you through what a C-section actually will be and how it will be.
The class that we did, a 5-hour class
Yeah,
that ran long for like 30 minutes, did not go over the C-section. And they're like, it's unlikely to happen to you guys. And it
What's
was
up
like,
with that?
I don't know. And we were like, no, we want to know about this and more about epidurals. And they were like, I'm sorry, we don't have time. And it was just like, oh man, this is insane.
Those
I don't
classes
know.
are very much on rails. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very disappointing.
It's so weird because like I feel anecdotally, but I feel like it's becoming more and more true as I see my anecdotes grow from more people. But like I think I know of one natural birth.
We were like looking at, or we got in an argument with the teacher in that class because we were like more than half the people that we know like had C-sections. And she's like, that's not normal. And I'm like, seems like it's becoming normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we were the same boat. And this, then, it's at the end of a multi-hour thing, right? I forget how Jen was 33 hours of being in the hospital labor,
Yeah.
let alone being awake or whatever. And it was, so then it's like, she's got the infection again. She's shaking again. I'm signing paperwork. Like to say basically, if he dies, it's all, it's a cool, right? And I'm like, yeah, I guess is my wife's sobbing and also wrapped in all these warm towels as they're trying to keep her body temperature up to go have this C-section and fight off this infection. It was like, this is the worst time for me to now be trying to figure out what a C-section is / what we are up against kind of thing. Yeah.
Did
Hold on
you
a
do
second.
the?
Google C-section.
It stands for cesarean. Yeah.
Oh, like Caesar, honey. I love that salad.
Did you do the like transparent tarp or?
No, ours was we could not see through the tarp.
Okay, we also did not.
Yeah.
Opt for that.
When they want, when they pulled him out, they wanted me to stand up and look over, and I did or whatever. But then it was like the back to your thing of like, for me, it was Ben came out and he came out super purple, and it was that thing where he didn't say anything, and it's that thing where I'm like, totally cool. I know it's in the movies that the kid cries right away. I've heard that before. Yada yada yada.
no one spanked him, so maybe that was it. Yeah.
But it was the same idea, right? Of like, you'll cut the umbilical cord, da 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 da. and they pulled him out. Yeah. And then it was immediately this, and I was crying and I turned to Jen and I literally go, he's so fucking big. And now Jen at this point is ghost white, eyes tightly shut. Her epidural had failed. So she felt everything.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to take any more medicine or drugs because it would knock her out. And she wanted to meet him. And so my wife, also fighting in the return of the infection that had happened earlier in the day, is on the cross, Jesus of Nazareth cross over
it's
here.
a really creepy
not
looking
strapped
device.
down, which we thought was crazy because we assumed she'd be strapped down. Not strapped down.
That pole
and
was strapped down.
like shaking like a leaf because of the fever infection her body's fighting, let alone the pain because she can feel them moving all of her internal organs, let alone taking out the child. Just her eyes are tightly shut as she goes through this immense, horrible pain. And behind her is the doctor, the anesthesiologist, who was like, we had asked she had been in the front, like, I can give you something that will knock you out. And she's like, no, I want to do it. And so I'm like, he's so fucking big. And they bring him over and they put him, it's me, it's the tarp, it's me, it's the anesthesiologist. And then right over where the TV, basically, I guess not even where the camera is, closer than that, is the little cart they put him on. And immediately it's that thing where it's like your point of they can't yell in the operating room, but they are speaking very sternly and quiet, like to each other. Like, and there's a tenor to their voice, right?
Yeah.
Is they get him over there, and then it was like, is there a NICU nurse? And there isn't. Is there a NICU nurse? And then one more, is there a NICU nurse? And like, we are paging NICU, and they went over to Ben and like, all right, and they were like, we can't find the heartbeat. He's not breathing. And so immediately, I've seen my son for 2 seconds there, and then over here on the table, and they start the chest compressions on him. And that's when they're like, we need a crash cart. And they ran out to get that, and they brought over the incubation tube. And just as they were getting ready to incubate, they found the heartbeat, and he started breathing on his own. But it was like probably a grand total of 45 seconds that felt like a lifetime of me trying to wait, and I'm like holding Jen, and I'm lying to Jen. I'm like, he's so beautiful, he's so big. Well, he was, but he's also purple and not breathing. But it's just like, holding her and looking over there and doing this thing, and it was that thing of like, Jen, I just want to meet him. And they're like, okay, they're cleaning him up, and then over here, and then she's like, how much longer do we have? And they're like, 15 minutes till you're sewed up or whatever. Yeah. And then they tap me on the shoulder like, you want to trim the umbilical cord? I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay with her. And then I forget, and now it's such a hazy memory, right, of turning back to her, and she like said something or did something, and I went, doctor, and the anesthesiologist was like, I'm already doing it. And
doctor turns around, pulls the mask down. It's the Joker.
No, it's dude, Batman. Yeah. So it was crazy, and that was already like, for me, like, the text stopped because I was doing we're still here, here's the updates, all of our group thread friends or whatever, blah blah. And it was when Ben almost died inside Jen, like at hour, I don't even know,
was that
14 15 20, where they were like, man, he's still, we're just looking for that last centimeter of dilation, because it was like, it sucked for us of like, we accidentally got admitted to the hospital because we were there for an iron infusion Jen was doing, right? And so she stood up, she's like, oh, that might have been my water. We went down there, they weren't sure, then it really broke while we were there, and then, okay, we're admitting you. This is like, she gets admitted like 7 o'clock that night. We go to bed, they give her some morphine to sleep. We wake up I wake up at like 6 a.m.
And that morphine sleep, some powerful stuff.
Yeah, Jen needed it. And we woke up, and I woke up to the check on Jen, and they're like, you're gonna meet your son by lunch. And this is, Friday morning. You're going to meet your son by lunch. We're like, oh, that's fucking right. Well, and that didn't happen. Then we stopped. And then it was like, well, let's get Pitocin, speed this along, induce a bit more, or whatever, And then, it was at one point, they're like, all right, cool. Let's, rotate you, Jen. And she rotated over. And it was that thing back to like how it is in the hospital. Like, they've been showing the monitors and talking about the monitors, yada, yada. And his heartbeat dropped. And they were like, that's normal. And it's just the one nurse, and it kept going, and like disappearing. Like, it'll come back. And then another nurse just walks in because they're all monitoring out there, and then another nurse. And then I always described it like somebody kicked the anthill, and like all these nurses and doctors rushed in and flipped Jen, and like they pushed me back, and we had a doula with us, right? And this is like where she earned every cent because she just held me. But it was the problem of like, she'd been there to tell us this. I know these people. Oh, this is great. This is what you want. And like, she just held me, and I just cried, and she didn't say a goddamn word. Because she knew, like, I don't know what's happening. Nobody knows what's happening. Right now,
Better stay quiet. Let him feel his feelings.
But that was the thing where, right, like, they got the heartbeat back. they got Jen into a position where it was okay, and then it was like they had given the drug to kill the progression, right? So we were just like, all right, let's start it from scratch again, and we did it. And then at some point they rotated, like it won't happen again, and it happened again because of the way the umbilical cord was,
Right.
and it was like, we still think you can do this naturally if you want to try. And Jen's like, I want to try. And it was like all these hours later, I'm back to Nick where they're like, it's time to call it. Like it's getting dangerous now. And so that's where it was, 36 hours, whatever it was, 33 hours.
I was like the most annoying person to these nurses because like the entire time I was asking questions and like, I wanted to have, because no one explained anything, like I wanted to understand as much as I could. And it was like, okay, so we can add 2 ml per hour of Pitocin of every hour. So it's like, all right, cool. In like 20 minutes, you're going to come back. Great. Oh, she didn't come back. So I went and found her. And we're going to up those numbers, right? So that we can move everything along. Because I knew the longer this process takes, the more things can go wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
And somehow it still took so long, even with like me ensuring that like, hey, we're moving things along. It's just you can't control, the world. Universe, time, fate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, it sucked. It was awful, but he's okay.
I want to get to the
healthy,
good stuff.
yeah.
I want to get to the good stuff. But first, I'll remind you that this is the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, we come to you, talk about our lives and whatever's going on in them. If you like that, pick up your Kind of Funny membership on patreon.com/kindoffunny or youtube.com/kindoffunnygames to get all our shows ad-free, get your daily Greg Way, and of course, watch podcasts like this as we record them live in the afternoon. For now, you're not using your benefits. So here's a word from our sponsor. Isn't it funny how the people we love the most are often the hardest to shop for? Luckily, there's one gift that everyone on your list is sure to enjoy, an Aura digital picture frame. Aura frames make it incredibly easy to share unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. When you give an Aura frame as a gift, you can personalize it and preload it with a thoughtful message and photos using the Aura app, making it an ideal present for long-distance loved ones. I have one at my desk, I sent one to my mom, and I'm sending this bad boy to my dad for Christmas. Seriously, uploading photos via the app is so easy and such a nice way to share Ben's childhood with my parents, even though we're in San Francisco and they're in Chicago. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This deal is exclusive to you, our best friends, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for this holiday season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have all of your gift-giving needs covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Durable frames and world-class optics for all outdoor adventures. With an extensive array of styles and colors, you're bound to find the perfect pair of Shady Rays sunglasses. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's always such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for you listening right now, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades.
So then, talk to me about the first time you get to hold your son.
I mean, it was Thursday, and they roll him in. And, Paula, like, immediately, like, the next day, gets up and walks down to the NICU, and it's like, you're not supposed to be walking. But she, like, I couldn't stop her, and we didn't have a wheelchair there, so that they brought her back up with a wheelchair. Anyways,
And overdue,
it's
but
incredible.
shout out to Paula.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
What an incredibly strong human being, like, physically and emotionally, like, that, like, God, it was so difficult, and, like, I wasn't going through any of the physical aspect of it, you know?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. And then the waiting afterwards, also awful. But yeah, so, 2 days later, it's Thursday. We're down there because we're always down there when we can be.
And what does that look like? Is it a window you're sitting at? Are you in the room with him?
No, it's like a giant room, probably the room actually about this size. And there's like maybe 8 little beds. and they're like the crash carts, right?
Yeah, the incubator thing.
Yeah, a little, but I mean they're massive.
Okay,
They've got all these big old things connected, and you just they've got a little armchair you can sit at, and like a rolly, stool, and we were just there anytime we could be there to be close to him. It has little arm like holes where you can put your arm in and like, touch them.
It's like when you have to touch something radioactive, right? Where you
exactly like that, but my son. Yes. But it's also like they don't react well to being like rubbed.
By a rubber glove or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, you can wash your hand. You can touch them with your hand.
Oh, I thought it was like the deep
me too.
rubber glove.
That's what I was
Sorry,
That's what I was envisioning too.
Like it was open to your hand.
Got it.
You can go and touch them. But again, it's not like he's like, oh, there's a sensation I know. He's like, this is new and scary.
Of course. Yeah.
And like for a while, like he had tubes. Like, he had all the tubes in him.
God.
Yeah, it sucked and it was scary. Like they put an IV in his umbilical cord.
Yeah.
And he had like a feeding tube. It was very difficult to see him in that state. But like,
did you start feeling in control at that point though? Like was this the moment that you're like, okay, he's gonna be okay?
I mean, so at Thursday, at this point, he's got everything off, but like, they're still like, oh, his sugar levels aren't great. We want to make sure that he goes to you guys 100% so he doesn't have to come back. And it's like, all right, so things are looking good, and you have to like. The doctor that's there has to approve him to go, so they have to do a physical. And what happened? We got there. There was a doctor.
At the push-ups, he just couldn't do it.
He's like, can I just
The mile just got
It's the presidential fitness test. I can't do the one pull-up. Can I just hang?
No, we got there, and there was a doctor who was about to like switch, and so they were like, "Oh, let me do the physical real quick." She did a physical, and then there was like an intermediate doctor that came, and she was like, oh, well, I'm switching out for the doctor that's going to be there for the next 8 hours. So I guess I'll do a little physical really quick. And then the third doctor came in, and this was a 15-minute stretch.
Jesus.
And the third doctor was like, I got to do a physical. Finally, our nurse was like, that's enough. That's enough. 2 doctors just did this. Like, he's good. We can send him up. And the doctor was like, all right. And then they were like, okay, go upstairs and we'll meet you there. So it's another like 30 minutes of waiting because like nothing in the hospital goes quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's like he comes in and I made sure Paula had her time with him first, but eventually I got to hold him and he's just tiny,
Yeah.
Like
I forget how premature was he?
He was 2 weeks early.
Okay.
Yeah. But he was like 6 pounds, 14 ounces.
That's
so
not,
almost,
correct me if I'm wrong, but that's fine, right?
Yeah, that's a good size. It's also 2 weeks early is considered
Not
on time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so he was like 1 day away from being, a little earlier, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. But they're so small, you know? And it's just, I don't know. It's magical. It's beautiful. It's everything that like all of that effort and like emotional pain, you just forget instantly. And you're just like, this is cool. Like I just get to experience this going forward for the rest of my life. That's awesome. And it every day has been spectacular and wonderful. Yeah. It's so funny because like they do nothing. Like all he can do
for
is
a while.
Yeah, I know.
And then eventually they go like this, I'm gonna need those car keys.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh god. The
Ranger
idea
Danger will still be kicking.
I absolutely I'll keep him alive for him. But like no, Nick, the idea of like someday this kid's gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna drive to La Ceremony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna take the car.
Yeah.
And like you just have to be like, okay, and then you could teach him how to be an excellent driver, and then some idiot can crash him, and and
someday that kid's gonna go like
fucking
this.
Insane.
You're gonna get a text, and that kid's gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, you want some Raising Cane's? I'm going through the drive-thru right now," and you're gonna be like, "It was worth it. Everything was worth it. This is
Raising
perfect."
Cane's is open, Kev. It's a big development here.
I've heard it's very good.
I haven't had it yet, but I'm
Oh,
excited.
really?
We've tried to go, man. The line's just too long.
I had
Just
it.
do what Mike does and
Mobile
go
order.
2:30 in the morning.
Very smart. How was it, Nick?
The mobile order was good. It was
Good.
good. Yeah, it was pretty
Good.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, the sauce is tasty, and they do this Texas toast that's like, what are we
excited.
doing? What's happening in Texas? You know what I mean?
Crazy. Like the bread is like the big
That's the
selling
big
point.
sell,
Yeah,
man.
That's wild. I'm in.
Have you
I
seen
like
this
bread.
menu?
No, I
Very
haven't at all.
limited.
Really?
It's chicken fingers and Texas toast. That's it.
Yeah, Mike he was like, we ordered a bunch of tenders, and he was like, I'm like, how many tenders did you have? He goes, 1. How many pieces of toast do you have? He's like, 5. I'm like, okay, that's a lot.
I think I was answering a question. I was just gonna say like, yeah, for the last 2 months, like the most that like all he does is cry because he wants a little, wants food, And right at the beginning, they eat nothing. You know, they're like, oh, you give them a thimble worth of milk. It's like, what?
Stupid baby.
I was like,
Eat some more.
we gotta get those numbers up, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paula like got very upset at me because that like month, like at 4 weeks, I was like, I'm trying to get him to get 4 ounces in him, and she's like, it's too much. I'm like, no, he's taking it.
He's a Coelho.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy to see the development.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing this thing with him. Like as I change him, like I'm talking to him. I talk to him in Spanish a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I just started randomly like doing a tone, like kind of thing, and he gets excited and he starts trying to do the same tone, and it's wild. It's wild to be like, oh, he can hear that and he can understand. Oh, I can kind of do that, and it's trying. It's awesome. It's awesome, yeah.
Right now, what does, and obviously you just came back to work, but before this, walk me through what a normal day during paternity leave looked like for y'all.
So you wake up. I've been trying really hard to get him to sleep through the night, which I know is crazy.
That's a big one, but if anybody could do it, if anybody can break this baby's will, it's Kevin.
So he's waking up once around 5 a.m.
Oh, not bad at all.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. I'm very happy with it. And honestly, if this kind of just stays this way, I think it'll work really well with my schedule. Because I still have to, like, my normal routine is wake up, take the dogs for a walk.
Yeah.
You know, go to work, come back, take the dogs to the park, and then normal home stuff. So now with the change of Henry being in my life, he gets me up at 5 a.m. I feed him. Feeding him takes 45 minutes to an hour.
Sure.
He it's always because I'm trying to make sure he gets like an extra ounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta pump those
Push him to the
numbers.
limit.
Yeah. We don't want to make him puke. We don't want to make him puke.
You're like an
Nick.
Italian mom.
Yeah, exactly. Just eat a little more. Eat a little more.
A little more.
You're sleep longer.
You're skinning buns, baby. You're skinning buns. Like
Yeah,
265.
But it's all backed up with math. I'm sitting there being like, all right, 3.5 ounces gets me 2 hours. 4 ounces gets me an extra hour on top of that. Like I'm writing everything down. You know,
the booklet. They give you
Yeah.
the booklet. They want you
I'm
tracking
not
it on my
using that
hands.
booklet.
Well, I
I
know.
got
I
an
had a
app.
booklet at the hospital.
Yeah.
Then we moved to an app
Yeah.
pretty quick. You know, you did all
I
that
had
stuff.
this
yeah.
app Tally.
Okay.
Great people.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I bought this device. They didn't give this to me or
Yeah,
anything, but it's a little device that has like a bunch of buttons. Like it's got a little diaper with a number 2. That means when they poop, you press the button. They got a number 1. You press that. Yeah. Anyways, you're
God,
so
I'm
it's
trying to
just
remember what we used. We had an app that because we shared it between me and Jen, and
Wait,
then eventually
wait.
added the name.
Why are you tracking all this stuff?
Oh, because it's like crucial to understand. Like first off, to check in to see what happened before. Like usually, since you're working in shifts too, you're exhausted. You can't like. I'll go the opposite right now. The amount of times Jen goes, "Did you feed the dog?" and I go, fuck. Did
I see.
It's
Feeding
that kind of
schedules,
thing.
got
It's
it.
feeding. It's did they go to the bathroom? Because that's such a big sign of if they're
Something's wrong.
dehydrated or something's gone wrong. Or like that, it's a big deal. And
Got
then
it.
back to the trying to get the kid to eat more. You want to be like. Jen and I were treated like we had just won the fucking homecoming game every time we talked to our pediatrician. Our pediatrician takes it as such a victory that Ben's ginormous head, giant body, how much he was eating. Like, it was a huge deal.
how big was Ben's head when he was born?
99th percentile. I don't have the number off the top of my head anymore, but I mean, the entire way. You've heard the story where it was that one time we went in and like the nurse measured it, wrote it down. The pediatrician came in. Here he is on all the charts, and they went to the head chart, and he was above the 99th percentile. And she's like, "That can't be right. I'm going to make the nurse redid it." The nurse came in all pissed off and did it. Like, no, that's how big this kid's head is. I'm like, yeah.
But yeah, so now I wake up in the mornings around 5 a.m.
Yeah. What time is he going down?
Like 9:30 usually.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, so it's a good chunk of sleep.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Real
Yeah,
happy,
yeah.
real happy with that. And feed him, change him, put him right back down to sleep.
Yeah.
He usually sleeps for another 4 hours. Now, starting this week, at that point I go and walk the dogs. So it's like 6 a.m.
Got it.
Yeah. Today, last night was a special case because just Paula was like, "I'm not tired." I was like, "All right, I guess we're gonna stay up."
Yeah.
So I didn't go to bed till 12:30. So I was real tired and I went back to sleep. But like going forward, at like 7 a.m. I'll probably go on my morning walk.
Yeah.
Then head home, make myself breakfast, hang out for a little bit, see if I can help with Henry if he wakes up. He shouldn't wake up till 9. We'll see. Then I come here, work. I don't know what the going home is going to look like. We'll see. I don't think I'm not planning on trying to take the dogs to the park till maybe next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
once.
How are they doing with him?
Mostly uninterested, a little upset that they're not going out as much.
Yeah.
So like you were asking about my routine
Yeah.
before coming back to work. It was going back to sleep at that point, and then at 7, Ram wakes me up. So I guess it's not really. It doesn't matter. And then around like 9, I take the dogs to a park.
At 9 p.m.
9 a.m. 9
Oh,
a.m.
got
sorry.
it. Okay.
And then come home, hang out with Henry. At like depending on the day, I don't know. We're like I'm trying to get to the point where he's waking up to or he's getting fed every 4 hours.
Yeah.
But like it's a slow process, you know.
For
and
sure.
he's like I don't want to nap, and it's like cool. So we'll just hang out with him.
Have you thought about making one of those Pee-wee's Big Adventure like Rube Goldberg things? So it just kind of comes down and feeds him. So you can.
I
walk
have
off, yeah.
the amount of times that I'm trying my best to hold him with one arm and hold the bottle and change something on the iPad, and I'm like, there has to be a better solution. How is there not like a third arm? You know,
It's just always in like a little sling that carries him around the house.
That's where he needs to go.
Fun.
The Mama Roo, the little. You got one of those yet?
No, I don't.
Little
I
things
don't.
What did you do with all your stuff? You still have a bunch of stuff, or did that get
A lot of it went to the
Kevin?
Coelhos. Yeah. We were, if you remember, we were lucky that we led off 3 babies in a row. So it was Jen, followed closely by Allie, followed closely by our friend Lee. So it was like there was like a trickle down economy of everyone getting stuff, and it was actually funny because for a while too we were getting stuff from Andrea and John, Andrea, Renee. They'd send us stuff, and then we would cycle it that way. That's generally how it goes. is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the
yeah.
cycle
Gary
continues.
also sent me a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
It was
Gary.
really cool.
Yeah,
Was his
a
all
bunch
like
of stuff,
British though?
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be my one where I'm like, everything's
It's one of those.
left-handed. You're like,
It's
what's
one of those
happening
little
here?
like he
Goes
gets
the
the
wrong
power
way.
wheel, but the wheel's on the other side.
Yeah, that's what are you doing?
Yeah. This is amazing. So is it everything you wanted it to be? Are you're thrilled with being a dad so
absolutely. It's like oh, man, like I don't want to say this, but like it's how I feel. But like it's gone so smoothly and easy after the birth.
Sure.
Like where everything was like we had he would wake up every 2 hours for the first like week and a half. Like it didn't last long. We also hired a night doula.
Okay.
So twice a week she would come by and I would go to our guest room and I would sleep the whole night. And like that was super helpful. And I was timing. Unfortunately, a couple of times she like had to like cancel and I was like, oh, I've been pushing my body to get to this point. But whatever,
I got nothing in the
tank.
Yeah.
We'll push it a little further. But yeah, so the nighttime routine. Also, like my whole life, I've had a horrible sleeping schedule. So like this didn't really affect it at all.
yeah.
Of like, oh, okay, I have to wake up. Like I wasn't asleep at all yet. So okay, you know. Yeah, it's all been look at the squirrel.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's been like I'm so happy that like I haven't felt too many challenges with this.
Yeah.
And I feel lucky for that. But also like it's great. I'm excited for challenges to arise and for me and Paula to handle it together.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, we're such a good team with these things. I'm excited for what lies in our future.
How is her recovery?
Really good.
Okay.
Like shockingly good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I told you that first day she was running around the place and I was like, stop, don't do this. You're going to hurt yourself. But you know, there's pain points and stuff, but like she is recoveringly shockingly fast. It's wild to like just how quickly she's bounced back from everything.
What are you looking forward to most as like the next like milestone or whatever from him?
Man, I don't. It's all like really. It's the next step of like I can't wait for him to be crawling so that he can be walking, so that we can be running around, you know, doing nonsense, taking him to the park. Like I can't wait. There's so many things in like my near and far future that I'm like I can't even fathom like him having opinions and like talking to me about his feelings. But like I'm excited for it. But so wild.
Crazy.
The one thing I'll tell you right now is something that Makuga told me, because Rosie, I think, is 6 months ahead of Ben or whatever. And when he checked in on me and I was like, oh, I'm doing great. And I've been posting photos or whatever of like Ben asleep on my chest with, you know, me in the recliner asleep as well. And he was like, oh man, the chest sleeps are the best. And he goes, period. And he goes, and then one day they're over. And I was like, what? And he was dead on that just one day Ben just didn't want to sleep in my chest anymore. And it was that now when he's like super sick, he'll do it. You know what I mean? And like, even then, like I'm talking months ago when he'd be super sick, he would sleep on my chest a bit. And now we'll fall asleep, but now we fall asleep like, you know, me and Nick out after a night at the clubs where we're both in the recliner, my arm around him, and both of us leaned back in the recliner. It's so different than having the little spud on your chest. You know what I mean?
It's that's also like one of the craziest feelings that like that goes away so quickly, and that like
this whole thing is fleeting. It's crazy.
They're so tight.
Oh, you and me after a night at the club, arms around each other, chilling.
Do I not remember those nights?
I stuck in your room.
Where'd you get the recliner?
Having the skin to skin and
Yeah.
your hand on their back, and it just being like, oh my God, that's all of his back fits right there.
Yeah.
There's this tiny little human breathing on me. It's just that's magical, and like already that seems like he's way bigger than that, and
And
like
he
that
is.
won't feel the same when we do that. Yeah.
That's the craziest thing about it, especially for, you know, right now with Ben and him being such a magical age here of 3 and the adventures we're having. It's like I look back at the photos on the wall or the photos in the, you know, iPhone photo album or whatever, right? And it's like I still think he looked this way the entire time, and then to go back and be like, oh my God, he didn't look anything like this, and try to remember, like the hand on his back is such a thing, right? Of like holding him and then slowly and how big his back is and holding him over there. You know what I mean? It's crazy to try to have those touchstones to it. And that's what I told you before, but again, like you got to try to take mental snapshots of all this because it goes so fast and you won't even think about it. And then it'll be that thing that he used to do that he no longer, like, you know, Jen's taking it hard this year. Not hard, but like, you know, she says it all the time and I'm blanking on it right now, but he would last year he called it Queemas or something like that. Christmas. He couldn't say Christmas, so he and so Jen was saying it to this year of like, oh, it's that, and he would keep correcting her. It's Christmas, Mom. It's Christmas. And she's like, I know, but you used to, you know.
You don't get it, dude. Yeah. You've changed.
My mom's the same way, where, you know, like he calls her Guima. And so it's that thing of like one day he's gonna call her grandma, and that'll be the death of Guima. God,
That's so funny.
The Italian grandmother.
A friend of ours came over and was saying like, oh, I hadn't thought about recording, but like there was this moment that I recorded, and it was one of the last ones, and it's just like, oh, I need to make sure to capture this. But like when you unswaddle a baby and they stretch, it's like
starfish,
and it's just it's so adorable. These tiny little bodies just fully arching, and like just for that moment, you know, just opening it all up, and it's just like I need to remember to record that. Yeah.
It's the same thing as like, you know. There was no, I'm not going to swaddle him anymore. Well, there was that. I'm not swaddling him right now. He's done with it, and then you're done. Yeah, that's done.
Well, it stops working after like 3 months.
Like whatever it was. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, when we got rid of the snoo, like, you know what I mean, like such a thing. Like we were just having the conversation, like we were at all at the kitchen table this weekend, and Jen was just like,
who's it and what's it?
When we got rid of the snoo and the good.
Hey man, you know what I mean?
What's a snoo?
A snoo is a very nice bassinet.
Is it the one that moves itself?
Yeah,
Okay. Those are cool things.
It does it and it makes noise.
Yeah.
You strap them in like a straitjacket, but
Of course you do.
For the young ones, it's the best because it mimics the mom's heartbeat and stuff like that. Like
it's level 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
because what the snoo does, right, is like it's moving around doing the thing.
Yeah.
And so like you set the sound
got
for
a
like
speaker right
the
under
white
their
noise,
head.
right?
Yeah.
And then if they start crying like in the middle of the night or you don't want to go, right, it moves to level 2 and makes it a little bit louder. And then at level 3, when they're like having a meltdown, it's the heartbeat of the mom, or a heartbeat.
And level 4 just shakes
to try
the
to
shit
get
out of
and
them.
it's like crazy, and it works
Put
so
the
well.
cone over them so no one else can hear them. You're
Yeah,
gonna cry
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
Well, after 5 minutes, it stops, and it's like your baby needs.
Yeah,
more
now
attention.
you the app.
You're
Get
level
the,
6.
get the fuck in there. We've done all we can. This is new.
How
You need
wild
to go.
was it? Like when you first
De-snood.
at a month, it opens up and it's like there's 3 more levels or 2 more levels.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa, because you're like level 1 and level 2, and then suddenly level 3 and 4 are an option.
That's
it's
awesome.
like, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, it's an impressive device, Nick. Yeah, you don't know the power of it because everybody was like, "Oh, you should get a snoo, you should get a snoo, you should get a snoo." And so when I did all of the influencer shit I could, where I was like, "Hey,
Shout out
snoo
to
people,
Happiest Baby.
yeah, hey, snoo people," and they're like, "Sure, just Instagram about it." And I was like, "Everyone at Kind of Funny will use this the rest of it," and like, great. So Kevin was next.
Hilarious.
So Kevin gets to hold on to this.
Did you ever
snoo.
wish there was like a man-sized snoo?
I was
course.
just thinking that,
Dude, I love every moment, every phase, et cetera, of Ben's life. I can't wait for him to be like, get this fucking recliner out of my room so I can take it downstairs and use it as my gaming chair. Because that is the Baby Leto, another influencer deal I did back with Ben, the most comfortable chair I've ever fucking had. I love that goddamn chair.
Hell yeah.
To the point of like this weekend, he had a nightmare at like 2:30. And I went in there and I sat in the chair and I was rubbing his back. And then he's like, just don't leave. And I'm like, all right. So I laid down in the chair and fell asleep. And I'm just like, it's, wintertime in San Francisco, which of course is nowhere near as cold as everywhere else, but it's fucking cold. So like, I'm in there and like, I didn't have a man-sized blanket. So I was just like cold, but I slept on it. I was like 4:30, I woke up. That's 2 hours of sleep. Went back into our room, and like at 4:45, he started crying. And I just got up and I grabbed a sweatshirt and I grabbed my pajama pants and socks. And Jen's like, just bring him back and put him in the big bed. I'm like, no, it's better sleep in the chair. And I went in there.
The Leto.
I reclined the chair all the way back in the baby Leto, and I just slept in there next to him. And he was happy. I was happy. I was warm.
I just imagine you have just that child-sized blanket covering your entire body.
That's what I know.
And then Ben's like pissed off, and he just reaches over and takes it off you.
He immediately does that all the time if he catches me. Ben is very particular about what I am allowed to do and what I am not allowed to do.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
That's his room, bro.
Yeah.
Get it straight.
I never thought I would hear Daddy no singing so much all the time. What
are you singing?
Everything.
Whatever.
Man loves singing.
Yeah.
Like
he knows every
around
word.
the house, or are you like during the night?
Oh no, this is around the house, or when
so
we're
you're
doing
just out there,
something.
you're singing,
I'll
like-
start belting out some Moana for him,
Okay,
and
he
then then we get in an argument about it. 'Cause, like, over the weekend, it was
Moana
Daddy
too
sing
good?
Moana, and I was like, no problem. And I went into 3 or 4 different songs, of course, and he's like, no, not that one. I forget now what he kept calling
He's
it.
deep down the catalog. You're like,
Yeah.
I kid no
And I'm
knows
like,
that song.
I'm
Who knows
he's-
the Ugly
I'm
Grandma
like,
song? You know what I mean?
know the songs from
Yeah.
Moana. I'm singing them all, and I would go into You're Welcome. He's like, no, and we went around and around and around, and finally I was like, what song do you want? And he said the name again, and I'm like, that is not it. And I pulled out my phone, hit You're Welcome, jumped to the middle, like, yeah, this is it. I'm like, I've been singing this song. I've been singing the
let
rock
me get
song.
there,
Yeah,
son.
Yeah, exactly. I can't just jump ahead. God.
There's some musicality to it, Ben.
Is he
Figure
excited
it
for
out.
Moana 2?
Oh yes, you
Like
should have
jacked
seen
about
his
that?
eyes when we said
That was last weekend though. You didn't go. See it?
no. 3 is still an interesting age for that, right? Like I know there's kid showings, right? But it is that thing of that's a long time for him just to sit and be dialed into something. And I bet there's scary parts in there that we would
You
want
got
to skip.
vets
Or-
prior.
It's one of those, like rewatching Moana 1 with him. I remember jack shit about it, but Jen remembered quite a bit. And so she oh yeah, what a song. She was like, okay, and there's a lava guy coming up, but Moana's gonna beat him, so don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. If you can prep him, and when I was showing him all the Ghostbusters stuff this weekend when he wanted it yesterday, I was very much like, he knows from, of course, Ghostbusters 1 to 10, Slimer's loose again. Slimer likes hot dogs.
He loves hot
And
dogs.
so when I showed the end of 84's montage, them coming down, they're celebrating, I love this town, all that jazz. We watched all that, and I was like, all right, now the car's gonna pull away, but Slimer's gonna fly at the screen, but he's don't let him spook you. And he did. We all laughed, and he goes, man, Slimer loves hot dogs, and I'm like, do you know that Slimer eats hot dogs in this movie? He's like, no, and I'm like, I'm gonna jump to it. I know where it is. You might see something on the front or back of it that's a little scary, but don't worry. But he was great about
Terror
it.
dog. You're like, oh, okay.
See,
Here
the dogs I don't think would get him because he knows them from his books. He knows them
scared
from the
the
books.
shit out of me when I was young.
Yeah, he knows them from the books so well.
The scariest part of that movie is outside
Librarian.
of what's that?
Librarian.
That's
Way
that's
too
number
scary.
2.
Right at the
Number
beginning,
1,
too.
the thing that always terrified me was Rick Moranis screaming and nobody helping him.
Oh yeah,
against the
Tavern of the
glass.
Green. Yeah.
I was like, why aren't these fucking rich assholes helping him? Then he's just like,
There you go. That's why.
Yeah,
That's
then
what
he
rich
got
assholes
possessed.
do, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I want to get out to see Moana 2, but we're on that cusp of like. Jen was like, I want to do something special this weekend, like something out of the ordinary to cap off vacation. And I was like, we could find a kid's showing of Moana. She's like, will that be fun if he flips out and does that? I'm like,
Yeah, I am. There's I just watched this TikTok video about Sinopolis, which is a movie company.
Scorsese-
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought-
No,
that's
no,
not the
no.
Scorsese movie. Or, yeah.
That's
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
Sorry, the Coppola movie, not Scorsese.
Hey, have you seen it?
The
Yeah,
new one with
Megalopolis?
Adam Driver?
Yeah.
No.
I really want to watch it. It's supposed to be terrible.
I want to
Anyway,
watch it just because of all the
Yeah, how many-
crazy
yeah.
shit. Like, at one point, have you guys heard about this movie?
Yeah.
No.
At one point, there was supposed to be a fucking showings where they had to hire an actor to interrupt the show.
There was.
Yeah, that's.
Anthony
in the-
Carboni went. He experienced
Was he
it.
the guy?
He was not the guy. He got
I'm
to
shocked that
experience
Anthony
the
Carboni
guy.
but like
didn't
the,
get
the
cast
first
as that.
screening, it was Adam Driver that popped up to do that scene.
Awesome. Remember when we got, was it Tyrese that came to the Fast and
Yeah.
Furious?
Fast 7.
Yeah. That's a magical moment.
They just don't do that enough.
Sorry.
Where's Vin Diesel?
Sinopolis. I don't know if this one does it because
Yeah.
there's one over by Hillsdale
Okay,
Mall,
okay.
which is not a great mall, but they have a Sinopolis. They have like a kids theater, or some of them do,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has like a toddler
It's a
section,
lawless land.
a toddler
course.
section in the front, and like a jungle gym with the like McDonald's tubes
That's the way
and
to
stuff.
do it. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
something to look into.
Yeah,
It's also got a little feeder tube that serves you Michelob.
yeah. Dude, a lot of people get it. A lot of the parental.
Here's a real question.
Please.
And I'm joking, and obviously feel free to go along with this or just correct me for all the parents out there. How drunk can you get?
I mean,
When
it's
you're
a
on these
sliding
outings.
scale. You know what I mean?
One White Claw, you're fine,
Oh, I'm
right?
doing more than one White Claw. Come on now.
Two,
You know what I
three?
mean? Did you see the video we put up on the other day of him with the shaker?
No.
The cocktail shaker? Let me find it. Because
Also, am I still Santa in your phone? Because sometimes, okay.
I sent you multiple things this week and you never responded, Santa.
Did you?
my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, my bad.
I needed your help out there. You want to know? You want to know
Santa can't
what
be
has
everywhere.
become the #1 fucking threat now? I'll text Santa. Stop sucking your thumb. I will text Santa.
Holy shit! That's
And
awesome.
and then if he does it, I go, hey Siri, and then he goes, no, and he stops whatever
Thumb's
it
coming
is.
out.
I don't know that I'm
awesome.
100%
Well, he
comfortable
doesn't
being
know.
put in this spot.
He doesn't see you and think, "Oh shit, there's Santa."
No, but
You're just the
did you
slot.
catch what happened
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
So Ben, he texts me now. Whenever I have a perverse thought that because I used to send you just
I
random
would never
shit,
just.
but
out
I'm
of the blind.
worried that it's
If you
gonna be
responded when I
Yeah.
say, "Hey Santa," yada yada
because
yada.
I
if you
almost
back.
responded because I think you texted me like midway through
Look at these
Thanksgiving.
dogs.
Yeah.
I almost responded. Santa's had a little too much bourbon for this.
Okay.
And Santa's real full, but I didn't.
Yeah, what you got on Saturday was Ben is being a very good boy, and he is carrying his bag like I asked him to, and he's trying not to suck his thumb, but he is struggling with it. Thank you, Santa.
Did you teach him to suck his thumb, or did he?
No, that's just from birth on, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's that thing where it's like now with teeth, then it's like you got to stop. And so he's aware of it and he's working on it. And it's way down from where it used to be.
Do you have to put the stuff on
typical
his
kid
thumb?
stuff? No, we haven't resorted to that.
They used to put. I don't know if they still do it or not. But they used
bitter
to put us. Yeah, and they go make it.
I mean, it would help because it's like
Pavlovian.
it's totally just like a subconscious tick thing for him. Like
Yeah.
it is that thing where
Yeah.
literally it'll be like, Ben, stop sucking your thumb, and he'll pull it out, and then just Maggie Simpson back there. And we're like, Ben. He's like, you can see him do like, oh, like he's not even thinking about it. It's just what it is. Oh, let's open it up for the video. Say something else about kids while I do this.
Kids be doing stuff, man. I was just with Kern's kid all weekend, Jax, who's 2 months younger
cute
than
kid.
Ben, and both of them obsessed with cars. We have his birthday coming up.
Can't
Hot
wait.
Wheels themed. They're very excited to hang
Do you
out
think
with
there's
Ben.
something inherently about cars?
I think
that
cars,
kids just
they
think
just
are
love 'em.
cool.
I think they're just so functional and versatile where they're in their real world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they see them, they can interact with them. And also just the toys are cheap and accessible.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also functional. It's
Yeah.
like making them move and stuff like doesn't require much and they're just cool.
But they can also be like, I like this Jeep, and then they can have a little
Yeah.
Jeep that they
There's
drive
like a lot
around,
there.
or one that they can play with. You know what I mean?
I was trying to write a joke the other day about 80s toys, and I was just just thinking about it anecdotally as I was driving. I was like, no, the car has just been a toy forever, and it will always be a toy forever. Kids just, I guess maybe there's a little part of them also that can own a little bit of adulthood early. Because you're like, Dad drives the car, but I get to have the car, and they're like, I don't know, it's something so fascinating about the simplicity of just the thing that's in the real world, just smaller.
Give it some eyes.
you get
know
to-
what I mean? Make it talk. That's not every.
Wait, Ben likes the micro machines, right?
Chevron did it
Or
first.
he likes
Hot
those,
Wheels.
like Hot
Chevron
Wheels.
Hot
Hot
Wheels.
Hot
Wheels,
Wheels,
man.
monster trucks.
Yeah,
he's
so they're not
fan.
even like anthropomorphized. They're just cars.
Oh
that are
yeah, I
cool.
know for sure. Yeah,
As
oh,
opposed to
dude,
the Cars universe,
You'd
which
be
is
so
cool.
proud, and I know you're always proud of Ben. But literally, he was good, and then Guima sent him a Thanksgiving car with $5, and I was like, "You can get a toy with it." So we went skating on Union Square. Then we went in the Toys R Us at Macy's. And I was
Yes.
like, "Get anything you want, Transformer."
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Oh.
I
Did
love
you,
that.
so
Superior
did you contribute
Prime or
the other
something?
$300 to the Transformer?
I did. Yeah.
I don't know if you're teaching it the right message.
It's not the like when we were kids. Like he's still getting the baby's first Transformers.
Yeah.
Like in 3 steps it transforms. So it's like $10 or
I
whatever.
mean, I say that, but like I used to, my Uncle Paul used to give me like $20 for my birthday or whatever. I'd go in and I would inevitably con my mom out of buying me all of the Bionic 6 toys or something stupid like that. She's like, that one's $5. I was like, I need all of them. all of them, or I fucking melt down right here.
He's way too old to be playing with Bionics.
Bionic.
wait.
Bionic 6.
You think about Bionicles, Kevin?
I was thinking
God bless you.
Bionicles.
I'm
What
often
the hell is
thinking about
The
Bionic?
Bionic 6 was like 3 people in the child will pop off of that because they're in their mid 40s. It was a family. The Bionic Man, the $6 Million Man, the Bionic
Got it.
Woman had
Yep.
kids, and then for some reason they were Bionic also. I don't know why.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if that's how that works out, but one ran fast, one could live.
so how
one
many
could-
drinks can you have? You ask. You know when,
Yes.
when you're with your kid. This is
How fucking cool are these?
How mu-
Wolverine. That's just Wolverine and
Also had
Five other guys.
had arguably top
five other
3
Wolverine guys.
themes ever made. Maybe top 5.
Oh, the van's cool. Did you have the van? What the
No.
hell's going on with the gorilla in the middle?
I never got all these. It was one of those things that I think the cartoon wasn't that popular because back like hey, fuck you guys. Okay? But y'all know that like back in the day, like the hidden secret was they just made the cartoon and sell the toys. Of course. So if the cartoon wasn't popular, the toys went off the shelf, and I had the one on the right. And then I think the dad, and I could just never get the rest of them because they just got pulled off the shelf.
Like, this is done.
One season and done.
Langley immediately says this show failed quickly. Anyways, how many can you drink with them? When this is I was making cocktails. I was making martinis for me and Jen, and then we had Ben shake it. So you're gonna hear a lot of shaking, and you'll hear him talk. But there's a very distinct moment that we both go, "Oh, how did you know that?" Right things, right? Because you can't hold it by that. There you go. Turn around, look at mommy. Hold it like this and shake it real good. Go. Good job. Now give it to me. And pour it in the glasses.
Thank you, Ben.
Sure.
Can I do it by myself?
I think it might be hard for the ankles, but you can help. So tilt up the bottom. Push it up, push it up, push it up, push it up. Push the bottom up. Push the
We
bottom.
are doing dates.
We are doing a date.
I'm doing a date night.
Mom's got a little lick of that.
Right.
You know that, man.
It's like we're doing a date. Date night. Because whenever Jen and I have date night, I make martinis or whatever. But and he's around it enough that he's like, oh, it's date night if the martini shaker comes
And
out.
he's like, Dad, how come date night always ends with like two animals fighting?
Yeah,
in a room?"
exactly. Right. That'd be
That's
more
just
awesome.
Cole.
That'd be Cole's question.
Yeah.
Cole all the time poof, hits the door up. I'm like, oh god damn it, go to your bed. Go to your bed.
Can we talk about Cole for a second?
Yeah, we can. It's about time we did.
Yeah. Cole came to visit a couple times.
We did. Yeah.
And I don't think that dog is warming to me at all.
No.
In fact, I actually quite think it's the opposite. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but every time he's here, I take a picture of him. I send it to my wife, who laughs her ass off. Because, Kevin, this dog judges you. Like, judges you.
It hurts. You know?
It fucking hurts.
Because it's like, I just want to be your friend, and he waddles away.
No, he walks up to you. He walks up to you and goes, "What's up?" And you go, "Oh, I'm gonna pay." He goes, "I don't fucking touch you." Walks away. And I'm like, "Why did you come up to me?
Look, but don't touch.
You're giving me mixed signals."
You got to
here,
get
dog.
on his level. You got to like get down.
I got on his level, and he just literally walked
It's
around
so
me.
low.
I was
I-
like in his way.
I watched an episode. I think it was
I don't
Games
like it,
Daily.
because him and I are friends now.
It might have been Gamescast, but Bless was on it, and
Rub that shit in
Bless
my
was
face,
talking
Barry.
about Cole, and Bless was just like, "Yeah, Cole's just." Someone said to Bless, "Cole's just hanging out on the couch with Nick," and Bless was like, "Wait, he's on the couch with Nick?" And like that idea is so funny. I just love that he was on the couch hanging out, and I also love that you were there too.
I don't-
and knowing your guys' relationship, I'm like, I don't think Cole wants to be
No.
here with Nick.
I just sent it to assets. This is a photo Jen and I still send back and forth to each other. That's just some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Where I'm out here doing Games Daily or Games Cast or whatever, and Nick just slacks me a photo of Cole. And it's this photo, if you can get it up from assets, of Cole all
hates me, man.
An office full of people who want to hang out with this dog and want to be best friends and are giving him treats and have laps and have blankets, and it's him all alone in the corner of the couch staring at Nick.
See, that stare haunts me, man. That's the kind of stare. It's just like whatever you're doing, I don't agree.
Yeah.
I do not agree with that stare.
Oh, man.
The thing I love most
It's
about
like
Cole.
you just said something, and he understood.
When he's here,
he's
he is a floppy little guy.
Yeah.
He's also very long. I understand I'm describing a wiener dog. But I
But
was
he's so
around
much
Portillo.
longer than Porty.
He's so long,
Yeah.
and his ears are so floppy.
Yeah.
Like every motion he makes is like 1,000 movements. Like it's so
Remember,
freaking
you met
funny.
Porty when he was old. So he's stiff as shit all the time.
He still had a lot of juice when we met
Yeah,
him. He was
yeah,
running
yeah.
around full
Yeah.
energy.
The annoying thing, though,
Yeah.
is that he's got big floppy ears.
And he
And
won't
he's
let you
got
touch
these
him.
tiny little paws that are kind of chubby and like
He does,
fluffy.
chunky ass
He's got like a
feet,
little
yeah.
extra skin. So you want to grab him and you want to pet him. And boy, he hates both those fucking things. And literally, like the other day, it was cold in the studio. And I was like, "Oh, I'll wrap him up."
so
And I'll
cold.
wrap him
I'll
up.
warm him up.
Like he was shaking a little. And I was sometimes shaking. He could just be like, "Don't touch me." Like I'm
Anxiety.
really nervous, anxiety. But I think he was just like a little cold. And so I took him and I put him in the blanket and I kind of wrapped him up. And for 1 second, he was like, and then he got out of the blanket and he sat right next to it. Like, "Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Uncle Nick. I don't want you."
yeah.
I need to tell you guys a quick story involving small animals. So
Okay.
we get back from Thanksgiving dinner at Gia's mom's house. It's me and G. We're trying to get back in the house. And as we're walking to the gate of our house, there's just this little cat that is like Toretto colored, so white but with like a lot of like gray black spots like all over the body. And we don't have a cat, so it's like this is weird that there's a cat here, but whatever. Cats wander the streets, cats can be outside animals, I get all that stuff, whatever. No tag, no anything. This cat's acting a little weird though, kind of like looks over at us as we get out of the Uber, and like very clearly wanted attention. And it's like, oh man, I don't want to give this cat attention, but I start walking towards it, and it like walks towards me, and it like goes on its back, and it clearly wants
belly rubs.
It wants belly rubs. And I'm just like, oh fuck, like this cat needs some help. You know what I mean? I start going to that mode of like, this has to be somebody's cat. Yeah. It's not acting like an outdoor cat. It's acting like a lost cat.
Belly scratches.
So I'm like, what do I do here? Because I'm like, this is not something I want to deal with ever, but definitely not in the middle of the freaking night. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try my best to just get this cat somewhere. G's like, let's get him inside. I'm like, do you really want to bring this cat
No, it's got
inside?
Some sort of lice.
Don't like this plan. I'm like, do you realize like our Pomeranians are going to lose their goddamn minds if we
they're
bring
gonna
a
be
cat
so
home?
upset.
Gia goes, cool, Greg will deal with it.
Yep.
And I'm like, trust me, I know he will. But like, do we want that in our lives? I'm not sure. But then it hits a point that I'm
The
now
35 seconds it would take to have a photo of the cat with a little hat on, a little bottle in
straight
it,
up,
she
dude.
said to you.
Straight up, man. So I'm just like looking at this cat, and I'm like, oh fuck,
just
I
kick it.
got to deal with it somehow. So I start walking after it. We get it into the house, which guys, I know it's a bad idea. She's asking me to do things, and I'm just like, we'll figure this out. I was like, I want you to come up with the plan of what we do once he gets in here, but I'll get him in here. I get him in. Moose fucking sees him.
Yeah.
It's World War III. Just rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, all right. The cat runs outside, and I'm like, cool. Now we just scared the hell out
Problem
of this thing.
solved itself.
I mean, I wish, but then I felt like a kinship with this cat. I'm like, I wanted to make sure he was okay. So I start walking after him. He then runs into the street, and I'm like, God damn it, dude. I get into the middle of the street. He goes on his back again, belly up, middle of the street. And I'm like, this is bad news, man. I'm like, bro, you got to get up. Like, you got to go.
Get up.
And she's just like standing on the corner. She's just like Tim, like get the cat. Just get the cat. I'm like, I'm not going to, like, I don't want to touch the cat.
Did it
like,
have a
I'll
collar
corral
on?
the cat. No collar. No, nothing. But it was like, it just
Do you have
had
a
the
new
look.
cat?
No. So I'm here. Yeah, like just trying to figure this
Turns
out.
out it's a rat.
No. Then
Possum.
Gia screams like a scream that I've never heard from her before.
my God.
And I'm just
Toretto
like,
killed him.
what the fuck? Like, what? And I'm like, what? And I look over at her. Another cat had grazed her from behind, grazed her leg.
But she's got-
and starts like, you know
She's
what I
like
mean?
scared of small furry things.
Well, specifically rats.
Yeah, sure.
But,
But like
like,
a cat,
It's close to a rat.
enough.
I mean, regardless, she wasn't prepared to have anything touch her leg. And this fucking black cat touches her. She screams. My other cat runs, not my cat, the other cat runs away. This black cat, I'm dealing with it. It does not look like it wants belly rubs, but I'm like, oh my God, this is just such a classic Getty's house situation for me to fucking deal with. I eventually go inside, and all night I'm like worrying about this cat because I saw him go in a bush. I don't want him to get hit by a car or anything. So I just kept looking outside.
Sure.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him anymore.
Standing
That was kind of
in
the end of that
bush, smoking
story.
a cigarette.
Then this morning, so now days later
You wake up,
after
your house has been robbed.
after
Like, fuck,
Thanksgiving.
the cat's got me.
I
Little
Chase
paw
at
prints
me.
everywhere.
I haven't seen cats at all in the last couple days. This morning, I get in the car and I'm driving Cool Greg to work, and I look over him, and he has a bunch of cuts on his arm,
Ah, shit.
and I'm like,
Oh, cool, Greg,
What?
not the cat.
what? I was like,
I was like, you can't try to kill himself.
Shit,
No.
what? No, goddamn. I was like,
that's
what happened? He goes, oh man, there's this black cat that keeps trying to get in the house.
Wait, cool,
I'm like,
fighting
Cool
him?
Greg, what happened? He was just like, oh man. Like, I forgot what he said. It was so funny. He's like, I think I was a little too liberal with the belly rubs.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at that.
Classic cat.
Now you got
Classic
cat
cat.
scratch
cat.
fever.
They bring
So-
up them back legs.
Anyway, I'm just like,
Feral
I
cat-
love it.
Feral
And then,
cats fucking freak me out, dude.
and-
Wild
and
cats are crazy.
You break them. It's
This
fine.
ain't a wild cat. This is a black cat in San Francisco.
then at some point,
There's a lot of cats around San
At some
Francisco. And
point-
coyotes. They're at war
Yeah,
with each
that's
other.
true. That's
the coyotes are very fucking scary.
The cats are losing.
I want this cat to make it into your household.
Yeah.
So I tell Cool Greg, I'm cracking up because I mean this is such a small world story. Like, of course it makes sense, but it's also funny that like these cats are back in my life in any way. And like, you gotta text our group chat, like, let Gia know you met this fucking cat. And he just sends a picture of him with the little like cuts on his arm. He goes, this black cat scratched me. I rapped with him. There's this video that's just Cool Greg in the middle of the night. Fucking, you can't see it, but he's just freestyle rapping with this cat, just chilling. And I'm like, I love
Great.
you so much, Cool
Brother's
Greg.
the best.
So yeah. Anyway, one day. I'm pretty sure Cool Greg's gonna end up with a cat. That's the moral of this story.
One of my favorite things was when Cole came over. I was still getting Slack notifications.
Yeah.
And the Slack notification that Cool Greg put in there of just the
poop
was it
on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you guys all going back and forth. It was
Kevin,
great.
you missed it. There was a moment where, obviously the rainy season is traumatic for
I was
you-
going to say,
you
for
and me.
everybody out there, just remember, Cole is the best trained dog I've ever seen in my life. However, it's during the monsoon of San Francisco.
Right.
The vortex or whatever.
So you and I are on high alert. The second you walk into the studio and rain starts, we've had leaks, we've had issues here and there, nothing catastrophic, thank God, but things we have to stay on top of. And I've just had the people come out and look at the roof, make sure nothing's clogged in the gutters or whatever. And I walk in as the atmospheric river number 1.
Yeah.
With the bomb cyclone.
Yeah,
that's
that's
about
bomb
to hit
cyclone.
or whatever it is.
Why do we have to learn new rain words every
Right?
year?
Why is there
Yes,
every
yeah.
year have to be another
Bullshit.
world-ending water event?
And I walk over toward the bathroom and I look and there's a little puddle and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'm like, it's either pee or rain. And I was like,
Let it be.
God, I
pee.
hope it's pee. And Joey, in her infinite wisdom, is like, taste it. and my dumb ass is like, no. She's like, go get a paper towel and just sop it up. And
If it's yellow, you got it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but then I looked over and there was a little pile of poop over there. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to put 2 and 1
two,
together here
yeah.
and figure out
There
it's probably
you go.
cool.
Yeah,
Dropping
yeah,
a deucer.
Joey does remind me of a part of the story I forgot. Toons is the cat. Okay.
Is that what's
Is Toons
attracting
still
you?
around?
Toons
Still
is,
Toons is?
so
Toons
for
is
people
fine.
that don't know, Toons is
to scare the shit out of my
a
wife with that
little
thing.
physical
It's a door stopper.
doorstop cat that Nick bought as
It's a sack.
one of the presents for
It's kind of fun.
Secret Santa.
KFAF,
KFAF, Secret
Secret
Santa.
Santa.
White elephant, like whatever the fuck it was, right? This goddamn cat. And it kind of just became like a meme thing within Kind of Funny of just like passing the goddamn cat along or scaring people with the cat, put it in the middle of the
Because it was a cat that was
hallway.
like sitting up like this.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying. If
Yeah.
you saw it at night, it looks like a real
It
fucking
looks
cat.
like a real,
It's so cute.
real cat. And somehow when I moved into my new place, Nick brought the cat over and just left it in front of my house. And
He drove over to give
that-
you mail and left it in your house.
Yeah.
What's up?
I
He
used
drove
to
over to
hide
give
it
it
in
mail.
places to scare people.
That's right. It was during the pandemic.
and
So
it freaked you out.
the cat's still there. The cat's still like in my little entryway.
As well it should.
When this fucking real cat saw that cat, that was problem number 1 of him running
Did not
out.
like it.
He
Yeah.
did not like it.
That's how real
at all.
Toonses is. That's how real Toonses is.
Tunes is rock, man.
We almost ding dong ditched you this weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, we were
Oh,
rolling,
that'd
we
be
were rolling
great.
by, and Jen was like, "You want to ding dong?" I was like, "Yes," and then she didn't stop the car. I was like,
Yeah.
Commit to it,
"Lightweight."
you know
Yeah,
what
you
I
know what
mean?
I
It's
mean.
the
What are we
best.
doing?
I don't know
you
that ding dong ditching is like as fun now with Nest cameras.
Well, that's why. It's
Well, my
That's
morph
the
is
funnest
down.
part.
I'm actually
Yeah.
would have
because I would have run the doorbell and then like the murderer is inside the building. You know, and run back in the car. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
damn, it's Greg. Just wanted to say hi.
I'm gonna take my cat out here. Help! You'll get Cole. Cole is just a mama's boy. So as soon as the pack isn't together, he's got problems.
Yeah.
But more importantly, like since Jen works from home with him,
Yeah.
when he leaves the domicile and Jen is at home, or when he thinks Jen is at home, that's gonna be a big problem.
Greg pulled an insane move last week, though. And I'm not putting blame on you or anything.
don't- I don't need to
I
blame.
know this shit
Please.
happens.
Yeah.
But there was a moment, Cole's here, and then there was a moment where you walk up to Joey, and you're just like, hey, I don't want to put this on you. Like you gave her the option to say no.
I was like, I'm going to Costco, right?
You were like, I have to run. You had to get gas.
Yeah.
You had to get gas and you had to get lunch. That Greg says, I got to get gas. I got to get lunch. I don't want to put this on you, but can you watch Cole? Whatever. I'll be right
I said
back.
you can watch Cole, or I can take him with me.
Yeah.
You can't take him to Costco.
And so
I was gonna leave the car though. I mean, I wasn't gonna bring him inside. It was rainy still. It was super nice. So it would have been fun.
Greg leaves, and it immediately just turns into everyone just like eyes on Cole. Like, what's going on with Cole? And Cole went from like sitting at the door, just like waiting for Greg to come back, to sitting at the door, just like, just like you could just tell he's like, this thing's gonna pop, man. Like there was like a real fear with him of just like something. This is not okay. This is not okay. And like anytime there was anything with the door or anything, Cool Greg coming in and out, like getting packages and shit, nothing happened. But it was just that tension of at any moment, violence and chaos is about to be here. But yeah, that was crazy.
I sent Jen. I'll try to find him. I sent Jen screenshots of what everybody was saying because it was like Joey's slacking me, you're texting me, or vice versa. Like everyone's in. Like the dog is flipping out. I'm like, you guys on you. It's on you. I don't know what you want me to do. I would have taken him.
Hold on, I got it.
What do you
I
do?
got it. I'm gonna send you another picture of Cole that I took.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Barrett, I sent Assets a photo of my son dressed up. It's one of my favorite things that I get to do with him. Is just
Are you
dress
sh- are
him
you
up.
showing
Man,
the
great
face?
job at
Yeah,
Halloween.
do you want to show this or do you?
Yeah, it's
do you
fine.
want-
You can show it. You can show it.
Amazing.
Suspenders
What a
and
cute-
bow tie.
Yeah, exactly. What a combo here.
Yeah.
What a cute
This kid's
guy.
got
Yeah.
the stuff.
Can you
man.
go to Kevin's Instagram and show the Halloween costume too? I don't know if that was
Oh,
ever
yeah.
done here.
I was so excited to
work
do
out.
that.
How long were you planning that?
We decided like maybe I don't know, a month 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Yeah.
guys are big on Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
group
yeah, yeah.
costumes.
So it was March. I was like, hey, let's watch Rosemary's Baby. And at the end of it, I was like, wait,
You know what?
What if we dress up as Rosemary's Baby, but he's the devil?
yeah,
That's just a bed sheet around me.
of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah, man. There's
When
You don't
this
stare
made
too hard.
when
Yeah.
this made the rounds here, or at least when I talked to Nick about this, Nick had the best one of. He said they could have also dressed him as the fire extinguisher. Because remember how you guys used to take your couples photos in the hallway with the fire extinguisher? That was like that's really good.
Next year. Next year.
Maybe.
He's not gonna be.
I'm pitching, and Paula is not. I shouldn't say it, right? Because it's better if it's a surprise.
Yeah, who
But she doesn't like it. Or she does not that she doesn't like it. She doesn't want to do it that way, and it's just really upsetting me because I think we'd kill it. It's fine.
Tell me
Now,
after the fact.
I sent another picture just now, Barrett, through assets, and this was taken on a different day.
Wait, Joey said she said smell it.
You said taste it.
I believe what
No,
the-
no disrespect, but Joy's full of shit.
What I believe what the
Okay.
messages might have actually been was that you said in the thing, Joey wanted me to taste it.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I said smell it. You offered to taste
Joy's
it.
full of shit. Joy's full of shit.
Oh,
he's always staring.
He just does this to me. This is a different day. It was a different fucking day.
Greg, you look so disheveled. Everything all right?
He's so disappointed.
It was, the
with me.
rain, so my hair was all a thing, and I'm trying to, one of the 5-minute periods I had to be at my desk to answer 9,000
Yeah.
emails or whatever. You know how it is out there. Meanwhile, Nick's just taking photos of my dog.
He just
I mean, come on. That's your dog's fault. that
He's
Nick's
so
taking a
cute.
photo.
He's so cute.
he has such a sincerity
said
and
that
just
thing
such
again.
a disappointment in his eyes when he looks at me.
It's a fear. There's general fear. He's
might-
like,
But
that man's
not
gonna
fear
get up.
for himself, fear for me and my well-being, just being a loser. You know?
Damn.
That's what this dog does to me. He makes me think I'm a fucking loser. You know?
Greg,
I don't know.
I also had to get one of those things for my
Who can
car.
relate?
You know, the top
Oh, yeah, yeah.
storage things.
Yeah.
Sucks.
What?
There's no way around it.
I love
mean,
it.
Oh, yeah, but you're like 6'2".
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'm
Get a little ladder.
5'6", and I
Yeah,
I
one of those little
gotta
rope
I gotta
ladders.
jump on my tire. Guess what? Bumpers, they're not made to stay on anymore.
Oh, no.
Anymore.
Yeah, bumpers just fall right off if you
You
stand on
gotta get
them.
one of those
Put those
X-wing
things
things.
right back on.
You know what I mean? Little thing Luke had to use.
Or like a
upstairs.
running board? Like a
Oh
running
yeah,
board? No.
yeah. Well, I mean, where do I attach them?
I don't know.
Yeah, I stand on the tire now, and every once in a while I'll slip off. Random strangers are like, "Oh, you all right?" It's like I'm fine.
One of those things I was having, like, my coffee the other day, and you get that moment of, when you can drift, when, no one else needs you in the house. And I was like, man, I drive this car. I have the Ghostbuster symbols on it all the
Cool
time.
car.
I really got to put some Ghostbuster props in there full time. That way, if anybody ever calls me, I'm like, but can I put a proton pack in the overhead bin for the entire? I'm like, oh, yeah,
It's-
probably.
I mean, we talked
he-
about it a while back,
Yeah.
but getting a custom wrap for that
It looks like it.
that looks like the bells and or the lights could be cool.
Oh, sure. For the
The
roof rack.
part.
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
probably a little expensive, but we could figure that out.
I mean, you only live once.
I've taught. I mean, that was always one of the thoughts of after we gave up during COVID. You know what I mean? When everything got derailed and we were coming back, I thought about making like getting together with Kevin, of course, and making like not plywood, but in my stupid head, a plywood base that could fit over the roof rack, that the rails that you could then strap on and have lights on it and all the stuff on it, so I could just like turnkey switch it to ecto mode.
Doable.
It is doable. You will win over Cole. Cole is, warming up to coming in here in general.
you will.
He's starting to be a car dog with me. That's the biggest thing is like, you have to understand, like, Cole and I's relationship has come to another level recently, where he's the family dog and he's always with Jen, right? He's always protecting Ben. But the trips into the office has brought him closer to me, where we are feeling each other a bit more.
Okay.
So it's one of those, as he warms up to me and he makes an appearance here more often, I think you'll
So
get
he's
shots.
more so Jen's closer to him than you.
Oh, 1,000%. Oh, no,
Are you
he's
worried that
glued to
Cole
Jen.
will turn Ben against you now?
Turn Ben against me?
Like he's so with Jen. Do you think
You
he's
hear
gonna
about that
turn his
happening?
son? Your son, he loves you, but like maybe he goes, maybe your dad's not as cool as your mom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the dog is never threatening to text Santa Claus, so yeah, I think it's
Dang.
already he's going to be
He has the
more
power
on the
of
dog
threat
side.
on his side.
Leadership
Yeah,
by fear.
Yeah.
I respect it.
There's been a casual conversation about another wiener dog because we saw some puppies out there, and Jen thought I would be the wet blanket, and I was like, "No, go for it." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, go for it." And so then she's trying to talk herself out of it because I'm like, "You're the one who pays, not me." You're trying to do a serious business call, and you hear upstairs. like,
10-pound wiener dog making a lot of
oh,
noise.
well, yeah, on the hardwood floors, yeah, and then the echoey bark and all that stuff. I'm like, you have to deal with that, not me.
Yeah.
But anyways, my whole thought there is like, but if we do that, they're gonna bond together. Then I mean, they're two roommates in our house. They're not hanging out with. They're not as into Ben and as into us or whatever.
I want you to know, obviously, in my drunken stupor on Thanksgiving, I almost introduced a new character onto this thread.
Oh, great.
That was Tim Tam, the Santa's helper elf.
Oh, good. I would like that. Yeah.
I was going to CC him on that.
Yeah.
Just add him to the thread.
Sure.
And then just get
We
that
can get
narrative
Cool
going.
Greg to dress up as an elf and be Tim Tam. The
Well,
elf.
Cool Greg's going to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Of course.
We're going to get him in that.
Naturally.
Kevin, when's Henry coming by the office?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. When is like whooping cough no longer a concern?
I mean, I'm always worried about whooping cough.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
scary,
know.
right?
I
Yeah, it's like you know me. I like having people over, and I like
Yeah.
want to invite everyone over. But I also like there are certain people where I was like, get the whooping cough shot, like because like you're gonna come by, and I need to make sure. And there's other people where it's like, I wish I could invite them, but I don't feel comfortable being like, hey,
Get the kid
go
get a
get a
whooping
shot.
cough
Get a
shot.
shot.
Yeah.
get shot in 10 days. I'll see you.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, when is it safe? I don't know.
remember. I don't remember. This
Yeah.
is the fun thing
I
about it
gotta
is like
Google it.
you live these moments,
Yeah.
you live these dates, and you live these feeding schedules, and then you save over all that information.
Yep,
You're so
yep,
far
you don't
away
need
from it. Yeah. Well, Kevin, I'm proud. I'm excited for you to be back, number one, of course. But of course, I'm excited to see what happens. To see you as a dad, it's gonna be cool.
It's been so much fun so far.
Henry
I hate
O'Ryan.
being here though. Henry O'Ryan, the little star man.
He's out there.
Great name. Sorry, I didn't get your seat, Tim. We got him. Man.
He's still
Your
your
mind's
seat.
my mind. You know what I mean? Dark Knight.
So I'm
You
shocked you
should've
didn't get me on the
taken the other
Batman thing, but
seat.
we haven't
Just
been
moved it.
together for a while.
You know how much I don't like that movie, so it's like that's
Dark
just
Knight
not. I
Rises.
never make any Rises references, except
I
Bane.
definitely on that one.
Oh, I sound like an idiot, don't I? You know what I mean? Oh, brother. Get out of here, stupid idiots. Everybody, that's been another episode of the Kind of Funny podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, we don't care. Of course, we'd love it if you picked up a Kind of Funny membership. You
like
can get
Bane.
it over on patreon.com/kindoffunny, or of course, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
This kid looks just like Bane.
He does look like Bane. He does. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
I like how he has more hair than me already.
The whole time.